Hi guys, welcome back to Feynman Scholar. In today's video, we'll be going through continuous charge distribution. This topic is very important because it has many applications in our later topics like electric flux and Gauss's law and its application. These applications are seen mostly in questions. So I hope you guys understand this topic, and if you do, then please leave a like on this video, comment on this video, share these videos with other, uh, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you, and let us begin. So first of all, let us understand how many types of continuous charge distributions are there. So there are three types of continuous charge distribution. There is linear charge density, there is surface charge density, and there is volume charge density. So now let us understand what is linear charge density. So let's say we have a line over here. On this line there are some charges present. Let's say there is minus charges present over here. So as you can see on this line, which is 1D image, on that line the charges are distributed, and they have distributed continuously or symmetrically. So therefore it is a continuous charge distribution. So like that only other charge distributions are there. So for linear charge density, in linear charge density there will be a 1D image. In that 1D image there will be charge, that charges will be distributed continuously. So that is what is linear charge density. This linear charge density, it is represented by lambda. It is lambda, this is lambda, and this lambda, that is linear charge density, it is it is calculated by the amount of charge divided by the length of this 1D image, or in our case this line. So let us take this line over here. In this line, line is infinitely long, that is it extends up to infinity. uh, it extends up to infinity from both the sides. This line is there. On that line there are charges which are distributed all over that. There are charges distributed all over the line. Let's say there are minus charges which are distributed. So now if we want to find what is the linear charge density of it, so we won't know like what it is, because it is very long. It will be hard for us to count the number of charges, and the length of this wire is infinitely long. So what we can do is we can take a small area from this. Let's say this much. We can take a small part from this. So this small part, in that we know that there is some amount of charge present. Let's say there is dq amount of charge present, and this part is dl amount long. So from this dq and dl we can differentiate it, and or we can make it into delta l, delta q and delta l. So we can get lambda value is equal to delta q divided by delta l. Delta is because it might be changing. It depends on us, like what part we are taking. So therefore we have taken delta q by delta l. Now as I told, there are many applications of continuous charge distribution. So in case we are using this charge distribution, so we mostly use it for in place of charge. We can get the value of charge from this whole formula. So from here we can get the charge value. So our final formula from this, we can get uh, lambda is equal to dq by dl, we can get, and from here we can get charge value. So we can see like delta q is equal to lambda times delta l. Now we can integrate it, so we can get rid of this delta present over here. So last we can get charge is equal to integration of lambda delta L. So this value we can put in our application, which you will see like application of Gauss law. In that you can see how we use this formula. So also in some questions we can use this EQ formula in like we can use it for force, we can use it for electric field intensity. So I have shown over here, you can see we have used this Q formula here for electric field intensity. So E is equal to K this Q by R square. So instead of this Q we have used this formula, that is integration of lambda times delta L. So that is E is equal to K integration of lambda times delta L divided by R square. So that is our final formula. So now let us understand what is surface charge density. So basically all this charge density, there is similar concept only, but surface charge density and volume charge density we can visualize. So we have taken a circle over here. Let's say that we have kept a charge over here or a group of charge at the center. So now what will happen is these charges, they will move towards the surface of this. So let's say there is plus charge, this group of charge, that is plus charge. So plus charge, it will be continuously or symmetrically distributed on the surface of this circle. So this is surface charge density, and this surface charge density, it is represented by sigma. So this is sigma, this is how it is represented. So this is same as linear charge density. All the charge density are same only, just little bit difference is there. So in linear charge density we saw the total charge, it was divided by the length, because it was a 1D image. Now circle is a 2D image, so we can instead of taking length we can just divide it by area, so we get Q by area. Now we can have any shape, but circle is like we can understand more from circle, so I have taken circle. So instead of area we can write pi r square, which is the area of circle. That also we can write any other area of any other shape also, that is given in the question. So everything is same only. From here we have again taken delta Q by delta A, same thing as I told in linear charge density, and then we can get Q formula. From that, Q is equal to integration of sigma multiplied by delta A. So basically everything is same only, just one difference is that the density or the charge density, it will be divided by something else. Like when it is linear we can understand it is 1D, so only one parameter will be there, like length. So Q by L we have taken. If it is surface charge density, then it will be by area, because surface we can think of like surface area. So Q by A we can think of it, or as I will tell in volume charge density, which is also similar. So now let us understand what is volume charge density. So volume charge density, again it is same thing only as other charge density, just one thing will be different. So in this case let us take a sphere. We have taken this as a sphere. Now again the same thing which I told in surface charge density. If there are many charges, let's say minus charges, they are kept over here, then they will distribute all over the volume or surface. This we can see in charge density, but all over the volume it can be distributed. If it is a shell, then also we can see it can be distributed symmetrically, or if it is a continuous sphere, then also we can see that it will distribute symmetrically all over the surface like this. But in this case there will be, this is only one side of it, there will be all over it. Let's say uh, you can understand, like there is a sphere, then all over the sphere it will be there. Let's say this is one more surface over here, then over here also it will be there, now behind also it is there. So everywhere charge will be distributed, and this is according to the volume. So this volume, it is, so this volume charge density, it is represented by this rho, a Greek letter rho. So it is rho, and same thing again, charge divided by since it is volume, so we can easily put volume over here, and everything else is same only. We can get delta Q from here, then from this formula we can get Q. So this is everything same only. We can take integration of rho multiplied by delta V. So that is it. So this is what is continuous charge distribution. It is a very small topic, but it is very important and useful because it is used in our next topics like electric flux and Gauss's law. So it was important to teach this. Now let us revise what we have learned. So we have learned that there are three types of continuous charge distribution. There is linear charge density, there is surface charge density, there is volume charge density. Linear charge density, it is represented by lambda. Uh, Here it is represented by lambda. Surface charge density, it is represented by sigma. Volume charge density, it is represented by rho. So these are all charge density. So they are easy to remember. Charge density, we can think like normal density only. Density, it is same that mass upon volume. So like that we can think like charge upon since here it is linear, so there will be only one parameter. So let's say it is length, so we Q by L, that is linear charge density. For sigma, that is surface charge density. As with here the word surface, we think of area like surface area, so it is again Q by A. And when we see rho, so rho, it is for volume, so volume we can again charge by volume. So this is easily remembered. Over here from there we can get formulas for Q, which are used in applications of Gauss law. Mainly we can see Q is equal to integration of lambda times delta L, and then this Q can be used in force and electric field intensity also. We saw surface charge density also. In surface charge density everything is same. We can get sigma is equal to Q by A is equal to delta Q by A. From there we can get Q value, so Q is equal to integration of sigma multiplied by delta A, and again we can use it for electric field intensity. There is volume charge density also, which is represented by rho, so rho is equal to Q by V, that is volume. And from that we can get charge value, that is Q is equal to integration of rho times delta V. And these formulas are quite important when we are doing application of Gauss law. So it is very easy to remember and to understand. So I hope you guys have understand this topic very well. uh, and if you like this video, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thank you so much.